establishing quality. We all want our team to be able to move fast and deliver at a rapid pace. But from an oversight perspective, you, as the software executive, need to demand a quality output from them. And this isn't just slamming your fist on the table and say, give me quality, but you need to demand a quality output from them at whatever pace they can deliver first. Measure the pace that they're delivering first with a certain quality, with a good quality that that you can be happy with. Think of when you were learning to type. The measure of typing speed is the number of words per minute with some number of errors. With maybe 100 words per minute with 100 errors. Well, that doesn't do anyone any good because that doesn't represent 100 typed words. It represents 100 misspelled words that have to be fixed. You want 100 words per minute with 0 errors. Capers Jones, in his writing about software metrics, notes that teams who prioritize productivity think of quality as something to balance, and they end up suffering with poor quality. And then with bugs mounting up more and more, you end up spending a lot more capacity of the software team to fix the bugs, and with less of the team's full capacity going to delivering features. When you get in that situation, productivity slows down, creating more pressure to reestablish productivity. And the team members then under even more pressure to perform, take more shortcuts in order to get things done. But this just yields more bugs, which takes more team capacity to tackle. And with a small fraction of the overall team capacity then dedicated to new features, the overall productivity tanks. And over time, this is the cause for some teams to pitch a new plan to management. They'll say, we need to modernize this system. Well, that is just code for, quote, fixing this is more effort than starting over from scratch. This is the equivalent to waving the white flag and surrendering. No army that surrenders can later claim victory. As the software executive, this is where your leadership comes in. Sequence the establishment of a quality standard first before challenging the team to increase the pace of delivery. Then measure the number of bugs caught before production and the number of bugs caught by users in production. Measure how long it takes to fix each bug. All of the modern work tracking tools, by the way, they'll do this well for you. That's really good tools these days. And this is the easy part. Your leadership is important here because you're establishing a principle, an important principle for your team to abide by. And that principle is that quality should be prioritized over speed of delivery. Because you know that adopting a speed over quality strategy doesn't yield you either speed or quality. In your weekly team meetings, which every team should have, ask the same question over and over. Same question. Say, tell me about that bug that escaped into production. What are we changing so that kind of bug can never happen again? Their answers are going to be different every time, but your question will be the same. You could also ask for a tour of the code that caused the bug. If you can't understand the explanation or the code, then you found a quality hotspot that you'll want to ask more questions about. Don't believe the lie that, the code is too complex for you to understand. After all, you wouldn't accept that excuse from an electrician or any other trade. That's how you got to be an executive. You can kind of see through and you can raise up and simplify. After all, in this situation, the purpose, and everyone needs to understand, the purpose of the software is to simplify a domain that has a higher complexity without the software. And in any of the teams that you oversee, you'll want to understand the engineering practices that are in place. Here's a few that every software team should be using. Test-driven development is one. Continuous integration, static analysis, pull request checklists. By the way, that's a good modern implementation of a formal change inspection. That's kind of been around the industry for a long time. Minimum set of practices. I expect the team to have other practices in place as well. They all do. And these practices ensure that quality is kept to a high bar. And without these, your team is going to struggle just unnecessarily to keep quality high, especially on a multi-developer team. Okay. Now we're not talking about small little dinky code projects that a single person can do. If you get somebody that has a good experience and smart, a single person can do a small project. But we're not talking about those. We're talking about more complex projects, and you have a multi-developer team. You have to have stronger structure and stronger practices.